Stamford North and what it means for you. A large expansion of Stamford is being proposed and is currently live on the South Kesteven District Council planning portal. This new development is being presented by Gummer Leaves and Burley House Preservation Trust. Alongside Alison Homes' planning application for Quarry Farm, Monarch Park, for 650 homes, and Stamford North with 1,350 homes, we're looking at an additional 2,000 homes in Stamford. But this isn't factoring in the other developments too. When we add all the extra developments in and around the town, our figures come in just over 3,000 properties. Population increase. So Stamford had an approximate population of 20,000, with an increase in property numbers of over 3,000 in and around Stamford, based on the average of 2.4 people to one household. We can expect to see a population rise upwards of 7,200 people, all using the same roads, medical facilities, parking and schools, etc. This is a population increase of approximately 36%. Increased road users. We can also expect an additional 3,990 cars on the roads, based on the average of 1.33 cars per household. We know that roads in the town centre are already congested during peak times and result in long queues. We also have bottlenecks to the A1, such as Sydney Farm Lane, and there is concern about these additional cars with no improvement to existing infrastructure. With a new east-west link road, it is fair to assume that some cars will just use alternative ways to get out of town and onto the A1. So we anticipate there being much more traffic heading towards Ryle, Little Casterton, Toll Bar, Great Casterton. Now, if you haven't familiarised yourself with the planning application for Stamford North, please do so via the SKDC planning portal. The reference you want to use is S23/0055. As part of those planning documents, you will find a master plan. Here you will see this master plan with some key areas that could impact you highlighted. Combine 2,000 properties without sufficient infrastructure improvements, so we're going to see issues around traffic, such as A1 bottlenecks and congestion in the town centre, and also pushing cars further out to other areas. And our medical services, which is a well-known problem in and around Stamford. Our GP surgery currently requires improvement, but any patient of theirs will know that it's very difficult to get appointments and they are struggling to cope with the patients they already have. And that does not take into account 2,000 more properties. The demolition of an acoustic bund that protects hundreds of houses from the noise and light of the Borderville Sports Centre. This acoustic bund had to be built in order for the Borderville Sports Centre to be in use. The Borderville Sports Centre is operational 7 days a week, and it's not just the Stamford Football Club that use it. It is used by college students and five-a-side and all sorts of training, well into the evening, most evenings. Construction of the bund was actually a pre-commencement planning condition of Borderville being in use in the first place. The developers are proposing to remove the acoustic bund and say that just putting 2 rows of houses in its place is enough to protect existing residents from the noise and light of the sports centre. Residents in this area would contest this heavily because properties that already sit 2, 3 or more rows back can still hear Borderville, even with the bund in place. Since the bund has been constructed, Borderville has in fact expanded, which should argue that they need greater mitigation for sound and light pollution from the sports centre. Under these proposed plans, the developer is suggesting putting houses right next to the sports ground, with no protection whatsoever. Now the bund really does work effectively, although you can still hear the noise and you could still see the light. It really does protect the residents and it does the job it was set out to do. With any new houses that are built right up against the sports centre will really struggle with family life through the noise and the light pollution it gives off. And the existing residents that are already protected by the bund, with the bund's demolition, will find that the peace and tranquility that the bund provides will now be gone. The position of the link road has moved since the local plan was created and signed off. The developers have now moved this link road connecting the east and the west from Little Casterton Road to Ryle Road to the southern extent of the development. And this is why they proposed the demolition of the bund. The reason for the position of the road change has been because of the contours of the land. Now, as you can see, once you map the contour of the land, you can see there was only one area of crossover with the road and the lowest point. Developers do not want to see a break in their linear park. This change in location of the link road will generate constant noise and air pollution for the new and existing residents. This link road is also going to be the main construction route for the full 12+ year project, which will be operational 6 to 7 days a week. And this is from early morning till early evening every day. By removing the bund, the developers have taken away protection for hundreds and hundreds of households from 12 years of noise and dust of the construction and moved it right to people's back gardens. The proposed link road is also suggested to be butted right up to the pitches at Borderville. Now, this exposes the users to noise and air pollution constantly, day and night. This scheme is supposed to promote public health, but by putting a main road with construction traffic right up against an outdoor football pitch and sports ground, this doesn't make sense. We're going to see loss on a large scale of high quality agricultural land. We have Grade 2 and Grade 3 land as part of this development, with the Grade 2 land being on the eastern side of Ryle Road. This proposed development will destroy established biodiversity and habitats in order to create a grass corridor through the development. One area of established habitat is the acoustic bund. This area has been landscaped and maintained by residents and is now a thriving ecological population. Congestion issues around new junctions on Ryle Road and the proposed narrowing of the carriageway to slow down the traffic. We're also seeing mixed-use buildings along Ryle Road, which could also generate more congestion. There is a new proposed junction on Little Casterton Road joining Stamford North and Quarry Farm developments. But Little Casterton Road cannot accommodate 2 cars side by side, and this feels like an entirely inappropriate place for such a heavy-use junction. There's a proposed pedestrian link to the new primary school, just off Fitzwilliam Road, down Pembroke Road. Now, this is likely to encourage school parking and become a rat run for parents using that school, and that will no doubt affect all the cul-de-sacs around the Fitzwilliam Road area. The primary school is located just on that busy link road, and right near the new junction at Little Casterton Road. There is some debate around whether this is an appropriate place for a primary school when there will be so much need for dropping off in cars and picking up in cars. For more details around this planning application, its concerns and objection guidelines, visit the Stand Up for Stamford website at www.sufstamford.wixsite.com/Stamford North. Remember, the planning reference for Stamford North is S23/0055, and you can always check out our latest videos on our YouTube channel. And if you do share any of these concerns, please make sure that you do put your objections on the SKDC planning portal. We really can make a difference if we work together. This is our one chance to get this right.